Hiya, welcome back to Fishing Fiend. It's been a little bit of a while, but to be honest with you, I've had quite a lot going on at home over the last 12 to 18 months, and my time on the bank has been limited. The little bit of time that I've had, I've had the time to go fishing, but not really to do any filming and editing that goes with it. But I'm here today on the banks of the Bridgewater Canal in Monton, in Greater Manchester, and I'm just having a couple of hours this afternoon while my wife's taking her kids to a pantomime, because it's December now. Can't believe it's so long since I've last made a video and had a chat with you. But yeah, the kids are out this afternoon. The sun's shining for a change, so like the November monsoon, Manchester monsoon season has finished, I hope, and just get a couple of hours in. This is a really nice fishing spot here where I am. I'm on the wrong side from the towpath, which is always a pleasure, so it means I get a lot less mither. But if my able cameraman just comes to our assistance in a minute, it will give you a quick view of where we are, because this is a brilliant place to go fishing. Phil, if you just do the camera and just pick up the tripod, spin it round so people can see the road behind me. If you can look there, and if you can look at Phil, hang on, I'll get the camera here, let go, and you can see Phil here, my able cameraman, but look where my car is. I love it. You can fish out of the back of your car, and it's a great... I'll stop talking for 1 second. Phil will put the camera straight again. And fine, there we are, that's me back again. It's a great place to come in winter, because when you're a little bit cold, and today I've got my fingerless gloves on for the first time this year. When it's a little bit cold, you can pack up your kit, sit in the car for 10 minutes, turn the engine on, heated seats, heated steering wheel, get yourself back up to grips, and then back out fishing straight away. It's really, really nice. I don't know if you can see behind me or if I'm in the way or not. I'm just trying to have a good look on the screen behind me, but actually you can see in the distance, just there's a lighthouse on the canal, and we're 33 miles away from the sea. And there's a story about that which I'll tell you later on in this video when we're going. But I'm sitting here on the canal. We've been here about half an hour so far, plumbed up, and about an inch or so over depth. There's very, very little tow today because there's no boat traffic. We've got round about, I'd say, fishing about 4.5 feet depth, and so I quite like it here, because we've got a little bit more depth on this canal than we do on my other local canal, which is the Rochdale Canal. So in the winter, the Rochdale Canal, I find fish is really, really hard, because there's that lack of depth. So the fish always sort of hibernate tight up in the weed beds and the reed beds, and it's difficult to get a good net of fish. The Bridgewater where I am, which is managed by Warrington Anglers, I don't think it's on a day ticket. You have to buy a season ticket. You can either join the club, which is a brilliant club, or you can buy just a season ticket for the Bridgewater Canal on its own, which you buy from Monton Tackle Shop, which is probably 200 metres away from there, 300 metres away from where I'm fishing now. It's a great spot. I'm fishing quite light, as I always do. I'll do a close-up of the tackle that I'm using in a minute, but I just thought I'd say hello again, because it's been a while. There's going to be lots more videos coming up in the near future. The main reason, as I say, why I've not been fishing is there's been domestic stuff going on. I've had a building project that's gone wrong. Builders walked out on us, went bankrupt. I was in the middle of a loft conversion and a big extension at the back. I'll show you some pictures of that in a minute, so you can either laugh at my misfortune or have some sympathy for me, depending on which side of the friendship fence you sit, or how tight you are. And I know a lot of us anglers, I'm the same. We love to revel in each other's misfortunes, don't we? But I've been here for about half an hour and I've not had a bite yet. I'll show you the rig I'm using now. So Phil's going to just turn the camera off, and we'll set up another shot, and then we'll see how we get on. There we go. So yeah, the rig that I'm using is really straight, really simple canal rig. I'm using a map point. Can you see it there? A tiny close-up point. I don't know if I'm focused or not. It's a 0.3 little wire stemmed map pole float, 0.3 gram. I run that to a number 6 shot, one number 8, one number 10, and I'll show you, this should come up quite well on my black glove. I hope you can see that. One single maggot on a size 20 hook and a .08 power line bottom, about 6 inches long, and I'm fishing it 1 or 2 inches on the deck in the hope that I pick up a skimmer. Well, I hope I catch anything, to be fair with you, but I always like to leave it a little bit trailing on the deck, because when you're trailing on the deck it's a tiny bit easier to pick up skimmers than it is when you're fishing up in the water, especially in winter months. Feed wise, I'm using, because it's now winter, the smallest amount possible of tiny little micro pellets. So literally 20 or 30 micro pellets in the pot on the end of my pole, and I've not bought any pinkies yet this year, but just single white maggot on the hook, and we'll see how we get on. In the summer months I've done really well off this peg. Earlier in the year I actually caught a £2 roach off this peg on hempen caster, which is a brilliant fish for the northwest of England, brilliant for Greater Manchester. I haven't caught one for years. I didn't actually weigh it, but you don't need to weigh it, because I measured it and the roach was 14 inches long, and there's a length to weight chart for roach, which is really brilliant. I'll show it you now. And that length to weight chart is pretty, as you can see from the deviations from that curve, it's pretty accurate. So I caught one of exactly 14 inches from this peg, I think it was back in April, and I was delighted, because it's the first £2 roach I've probably had in about 30 years fishing in Greater Manchester. I used to catch them all the time on the Rochdale Canal back in the days before cormorants, and back in the days when it wasn't what's the best description for it? Navigable water body. It'd been left to go to rack and ruin, and in that rack and ruin, the roach and bream thrived. Since it's become open to boat traffic again, those big roach have disappeared, and obviously cormorants have decimated the roach populations across the country. But yeah, it was an absolute delight to catch it. The other place I used to catch them, well, I definitely won't catch one now, I used to catch them on bread at Heaton Park Boating Lake. Wait for all the locals to come along, feed the ducks, and just go in with a great big lump of bread flake as soon as the ducks started scavenging for food. And underneath was shoals and shoals of roach underneath the ducks, and that was a brilliant place to catch big roach. Again, cormorants, back in the day, since 2006, decimated silver fishing. If I don't catch one today, that's the excuse that I'm going to use for not catching today. Because you know me, I like a good excuse. And I often
Bad angling.
Bad angling. Hang on. The pantomime, yeah?
I'm behind you.
Yeah, that's the one. The pantomime is on this side of the camera, Phil, and not on that one. They keep saying I'm behind you and behind you. He's getting into the swing of the season. So anyway, we'll turn this off. I'm going to do a bit of fishing, and hopefully I'll show you a fish in a minute when I catch one. So I'm just fishing my old cheap pole. It's just a 7 metre elasticated take apart. Fishing 2 lines, standard thing. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. 10 o'clock to my left, 2 o'clock to my right. It's nice and easy on a canal when you do that, because invariably it's the same depth. So you're fishing along the same line, but just in 2 different locations. I've not had any bites yet. My famous last words, but hopefully it's not going to be long. And there you can see the end of my pole, and I don't know if you can pick it up, but my float is just to the right of that most right hand window. It's good to pick a marker, isn't it? Oh. There we go. Let's hope we get a bite. Famous last words. Leave it there right now, don't touch it.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. It's alright.
Just come and swap that out. Jump on the box. Take that, you got it. I'm a fish. There, look. Just been checking that you can see where we are. And look, there's my cameraman, Phil, having a go. But he must have forgotten where I put the feed because he's fishing at 12 o'clock. And I put the feed in. I'll show you with my finger. Level with that window there, where I can see the reflection, just there. And then level with that window there, so it's like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. But he was fishing at 12 in the middle. Can you believe it? Anyway, this is where I am. Look, that's the sun in my eyes. There's my car. Here's the road. You can fish right behind. I'll pan round a little bit. You can park your car right behind where you fish, isn't it brilliant? And there's not much, you get cars going past, but you don't get that. You don't tend to get that many people walking. But have a look at this. Can you see that? 33 miles from the sea. I'd love that in my back garden. It's like having the cash to build your own folly. If you speak to my wife, she'll tell you that I've built lots of follies in my life, or tried to. In our house, garden, all sorts, what have you. But none as spectacular as that one. Don't you love it? Look at that. Let's go right in. Hang on. There we go. Now, wrong way. Look at that. It's like the light of Alexandria, but possibly not. Anyway, we'll get rid of that now. We're just round here and back to the fishing with Filippo. There he is. Sit on my box. Getting back a tiny bit more. Look at that. Sat on my box with my kit, my magnet. Any fish he catches now, tell me what you think in the comments below. If he catches a fish now, does that fish belong to him or to me? I've always gone on the lines of, if you've got the rod in your hand or the pole in your hand, you catch the fish. So, even though he's using my kit. Right, I'm turning up. I'm not going to turn it off. I'm going to leave it running. I'm going to kick him off my seat. He can come back behind the camera, and you can watch me blank him for a little bit. Just hold on. Go.
Skill.
Leaf fish. First a leaf, now a twig. It's not going to be long before I catch an old brute. Except we're in Salford. So it's not an old brute, it's going to be an old Nike trainer. good one. Bumped it off. Elastic
Oh
out.
no.
Elastic out. Bump.
Perch probably, then.
You never know, do you?
No. Two bites and the last one.
3 bites.
3 bites and the last one. Oh, 3 bites, yeah. Last one. Bad angling. That'll be Tucker.
It was on this peg. So we've got 2 bites from that one and 1 bumped fish on this one. I put another pot of feed in.
Did you? I think Nicky Brad's it's a standard winter tactic, isn't it? You don't get anything in 10 minutes on there.
Get that camera rolling. I had 2 very quick bites, and then this one came along, and the bite was, so it's hardly fighting that much. And
it's a nice skimmer.
It's only 9 degrees today. It's quite a nice fish to lift it out. And that was obviously the females in the sidings have a panic. But don't come off, please. Now I'll take my gloves off before I touch it, I think, because obviously if it's a skimmer, it's going to absolutely stink. There we go, can you see that here? There we go, that's what I love catching. Go and do the camera around first. I love catching canal skimmers. Go and take the camera backwards. There we go. Give me 1 second, I'll just get rid of these old step toe gloves, as my wife calls them. I do like, I like to be warm. I like catching fish as well, but I do like to be warm. I recently bought, that's it's good fish actually, it's about, hazard a guess, I'm not going to weigh it, hazard a guess, say it weighs about £2 right now. You have to remember I'm big. And now I've got bream slime on my glasses. A clever thing to do. But now with my glasses on, I am actually even blinder through this, there we go, through this cloud of bream slime. There we go. Yeah, £1.50, £2. Lovely, lovely. I'm happy with that. Even though I can hardly see it, because my glasses have got green slime on them. But I'm not going to. No, I'm not. I was going to give it a kiss, but I'm not. It's green. If there's a roach, I love roach. I would have kissed the roach. But green. I like you, but not that much. So there we go. Lovely. Bridgewater Canal Green. Fantastic. Let's let it go. Give it a rest. Come on. You've not been out of the net that long. I'll tell you what. We'll leave them to revive a little bit. There we go. Nice, doing a bit better. There we go. Come on. Wakey, wakey. Upright.
There you go.
Straight off nicely. Back to the rest of its show, and it'll be telling it now. Whatever you do, don't eat those white maggots. Don't eat those white maggots. He's here again. But I'm pleased with that. Most people are well known locally as a bit of a blanker, and you can swap the letters round and add some letters and change them round, because a lot of people think that as well, which I don't really worry about. But I'm really delighted to come here today. In that short time, we've been here, what now? Let me just see, hour and 20 minutes. 3 bites, three missed bites, 1 bump fish, and that nice skimmer. But I do, from what I can see from that, I do need to change my elastic. My heart was in my mouth all the way through that, 'cause that elastic is a tiny bit too tight. So when I get in tonight, I'll have a look at that top kit, and I'll probably put some new elastic in. I think that for some reason I picked up a top kit, it's probably 8 to 12, so I think I need to be on 4s to 6s for winter fish down here. So there's lots of different little things that we need to do to get our kit right. So my wife never understands this. So how come we've got so many fishing rods and so many fishing poles? But you do need to have and use the right kit for the job. And today I'm not, and I've got away with it. So let's see if I can catch another before it goes dark. So here we go. Light's just going. The battery's gone on my main camera. Say hello.
Hello.
I've got an audience. Even Phil's sitting down in his chair.
Amazing. It was
And
a
I've
good
got
experience.
another skimmer on. But if Phil, do you want to do me a favour and take this? There we go.
Cheers.
Bring it to the net.
Your finger is on it.
Yeah, it shot me.
There's another one there underneath it as it's come in. There we go. There's a second fish underneath this one, which is interesting, isn't it? Whoa, there we go. It's about a tiny bit bigger than the last one. Wow. Bear with me 1 second.
See, as the light's gone,
Yeah.
they're starting to feed. When the sun was out,
The
nothing.
light's gone, but my disgorger hasn't.
Well,
There we go. It's quite a nice fish actually. This one. Oh, there we go. This one's a bit bigger. This is definitely in the £2 to £3 bracket. I've not, as I say, I very rarely weigh fish. I like to guess them. I don't see any point. But there we go. I'll hold this one up. Whoa!
whoa!
Making my coat smell now. My wife will be really angry with me. But look at that. I mean, it's the
Wow.
same colour as my coat. That's quite a nice fish, that one,
It's a beauty.
isn't it? So again, that's probably £2 to £3, that one. Single maggot over a bed of very small bed of micro pellets. Single maggot, size 20 hook, 0.08 bottom. So that's the second one. And I'm pretty sure that
There's more.
there's plenty more down there, and we will come back before the end of this video. We'll have part 2, I think. This is part 1, so thank you very much. I'm going to pack up and go home now. This is the end of part 1, and I'll come back next weekend and we'll do part 2, and we'll call it a wrap after that. But when I do part 2, I'm going to fish it slightly differently. So instead of using micro pellets over maggot, I'm going to use punch bread and crushed hemp, and I'll fish it with casters and see what difference we get. See if we get any roach next time. Today I've just had the two decent bream now. Oh, shut up now, put it away. Hang on, let it go. Again, just let it get its breath back. Let it get its breath back. In a way, I'm sort of, with that fish, I'm sort of glad that I've not gone on the size 4 to 6 elastic now. There's me. Oh, I need 4 to 6 elastics. I'm bumping fish. But there we go. Watch it swimming off now. There we go. Nice and happy.
There she goes.
Oh, my hands are covered in bream snot. My net is tomorrow morning when I take the kids to school tomorrow morning. They're going to absolutely shout at me.
No, it's the sweet smell of success.
The sweet smell of success. It'll be windows open first thing in the morning for my little kids on the way to primary school. Because as we all know, look at, honestly, my hands are...
Yeah, but you know what the moral is, don't you? Always bring a towel with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at all this,
be prepared.
The snot's dripping off my fingers. Oh, happy days. Catch
Happy
you soon.
days.